Hi and welcome to All About the Philippines. In this video we're looking at the old saying that most of us have probably heard at some stage. Can visiting the Philippines give you the blues, as people once called it? Nowadays we know it as depression. Some people will say yes and some people will say no. The answer isn't as straightforward as one may think. In my professional life, I've counselled many people over the years who have suffered from this, and I've also read up extensively on the subject. While this is not in any way professional counselling advice, what I will give you is my personal thoughts around the topic of can visiting the Philippines give you the blues. Just hold on for one moment. Looking to date a Filipina, or already dating or married to a Filipina? I use my experiences around my relationship with my Filipino wife of 6 years, as well as my professional experience as a qualified relationship counsellor for the past 10 years to help you on your way. Are you after information, tips and resources for a successful relationship with a Filipina and maintain it? Too easy. Just take a second to subscribe and click the bell icon, and I promise you'll never miss out again. Another term I've heard used to describe this is post-holiday blues or post-holiday depression. For those that have never heard of these terms before, simply some people who go on holiday to the Philippines or anywhere else in the world for that matter and have a fantastic time, then return home, and they may feel like they are very down and wish they were still back in the Philippines, lazing around on a beautiful beach or spending time with their girlfriend. Over the years in my professional life, I've never had anyone come and see me for post-holiday blues, but since having a YouTube channel and being interested in the Philippines, I've heard this said many times. And I've wondered if it could be in fact possible to go for a 2 or 3 week holiday or vacation to the Philippines and come home and suffer in this way. But firstly, before I give my thoughts on that, we need to understand in simple terms what depression actually means, or could instead be some sort of sadness that people are feeling when they return from having such a great time. From the dictionary, depression is defined as feelings of severe despondency and dejection. People may experience a feeling of intense sadness or loss for weeks, months, or even years. So for me to give you my final answer on whether or not visiting the Philippines can actually give you the blues, we need to take a look at a typical person who might visit the Philippines. Many people may visit the Philippines because they see the Philippines on TV, on the computer or in brochures and decide it looks a fantastic place to visit with many interesting things to see and do. These people may be hard-working people who may only take a holiday for a few weeks once a year. So they may anticipate this holiday for a good 6 months or even longer. And when they get to the Philippines, all of a sudden the stress levels that they've had all year seem to disappear, and they've never felt so relaxed and at peace. They've had a fantastic time on their vacation, but very quickly their vacation comes to an end. They're back on the plane and home they go to what they may view as the grind of work and the stress of everyday life, which will hit them hard after being relaxed for a few weeks. The body has just adapted to less stress and a peaceful feeling, and then it gets a jolt to the system and welcome back to reality. And it is indeed a big shock to their system, and their thoughts go back to the Philippines and wish they could feel like that every day. In a sense, they have had a loss. They have lost the peaceful, relaxed feeling that made them completely at ease and allowed them to enjoy things they'd never enjoyed before. And the same can be said for those that go to the Philippines to visit their girlfriend and have a great time together and then have to go back home to their own country. Of course they'll miss each other and have a feeling of sadness which may last a few days or maybe even a week, but the feeling of sadness will soon subside and they'll get back on with their normal life and look forward to their next visit. When anyone experiences a big loss in their life, sadness or depression can kick in. If a loved one or close friend passes away, that's a huge loss, as can be losing a job that you've invested so much time and effort into, and they've paid you very well. The job could end very suddenly, and that could create a big shock and a big loss in your life. Or it could be that you break up with your wife, girlfriend or partner after many years together. Again, another big loss. These are all things that can trigger the feelings of a deep sadness and indeed depression. But can losing a feeling like being relaxed and at peace from a great time on a vacation actually trigger depression? Personally speaking, I have experienced what some call the post-holiday blues myself. I came home from a great time in the Philippines and back to the daily grind of life in Australia, which seemed very unexciting to what I'd experienced in the Philippines. And for the first few days I did feel very flat and rather sad that I was back in Australia doing a job which at that time never paid great or I was really happy in. But my personal view is that people can often confuse sadness with depression, and I believe there's no such thing as post-holiday blues or depression. And my reasoning for this is when we spoke about the definition of depression earlier on. The dictionary defines depression as feelings of severe despondency and dejection. People may experience a feeling of intense sadness or loss for weeks, months, or even years. So from that, my view is that these feelings won't last intensely for weeks, months, or years. And as I say, they will start to ease after a few days or maybe a week or so. If someone truly had depression when they came back from the Philippines, I would think that they had it before they went and maybe didn't recognize the signs at that time. So they then say, oh, I had post-depression from going to the Philippines. So guys, I do believe the saying that visiting the Philippines can give you post-blues or post-depression is inaccurate, and it's more of a sadness that these people are feeling, and they're confusing it with the blues. And perhaps for those people it's had more to do with themselves possibly not being happy or fulfilled in their own lives or areas of their own lives, and that should now let them know it's time to make changes in their lives. I hope you've enjoyed the video or found it interesting, and if you or anyone you know has claimed to experience the post-vacation blues, then whack your comments in below. But be respectful, as we can all have different views and discuss it all civilly and like adults. Feel free to share the video with all your networks, subscribe to our friendly community if you haven't already done so, and of course press the bell icon to make sure you get all our videos. Thanks very much for watching guys, I appreciate all your support. Take care and bye for now.